zone.
Oh, and he's got the touchdown.
You can't do it any better.
Decades pass, faces change, but what matters most remains the same. And that will never, ever get old.
How good is that? LT and John Riggins setting the pace for this one. The rivalry between the Redskins and the Giants goes way back, and Captain Trent Williams of Washington addressed his teammates a moment ago.
Hey, get here tight, man. Get here tight. Hey, I'm going to take y'all back to week 4 last year, man. This same stage, they came to our house and they embarrassed us, dog. They embarrassed us. We got that opportunity today. We in their house. Thursday night stage, everybody watching us. Let's dominate, man. Let's show the world we know, man. Let's go, man. Win on 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right, Trent Williams says, let's dominate. The left tackle and Pope over the last 2 years. He's going to be taking the field here in just a moment as the Giants won the toss and have deferred. Josh Brown putting it on a tee. Seems to be a fresh attitude around this team, too, when we've met with him.
No doubt there is. He said something was important. They have not forgotten last year's Thursday night game down in Washington when they got embarrassed by the New York Giants. I know that's a big motivating factor here tonight.
That was 364 nights ago, and this is Ross is going to bring it out from 3 deep, and he's out of bounds at the 18. The Giants won that Thursday night encounter a year ago, 45-14. Cousins was the starter on that occasion, and he threw 4 second-half interceptions. But different story now. Just look at last week's number, 23 of 27. He's hit 76% of his passes the first 2 weeks. And Jay Gruden comes to him late in camp and says, you're our guy for 16 games.
Look at this. Last week, 3 tight ends right away, spreading the Giants out with a 5 wide receiver look with the running backs outside.
Here's the quick pass, and it's over to Reed. Another tight end with his 14th catch of the season, and they pick up 3 yards on the first snap of the game.
Well, a couple things. Let me just say this about Kirk Cousins. I expect to see a different quarterback here tonight than I did last year. Jim, he's the starter. Last year he was a backup. And when you're a backup coming in for the starter, it's hard for you to put the personality, your personality, and stamp it onto the team. He's had that chance so far this year, and we'll see if it works here for him here tonight.
2nd and 7. And it's Matt Jones, the rookie out of the University of Florida, who came up big in week 2 with 123 on the ground. He's within a yard of the first. 4th season for Cousins out of Michigan State. This is his 12th career start. And again, a hot hand last week. When he was at Michigan State, there were some other good quarterbacks on campus at the same time. Drew Stanton and Brian Hoyer, even Nick Foles overlapped with his time with the Spartans. 3rd down and 1. Chris Thompson is in the backfield, but they're going to go top for it. And down the field, it's Thompson. He got separation, and there's a flag out as he is pushed out at the Giants' 40. The flag is all the way back at the 33.
Well, they caught him. It's a pick play.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 86. 10-yard penalty. Replay. 3rd down.
They caught him in man-to-man coverage, and Jordan Reed, the tight end, blocks the guy that's covering the running back coming out of the backfield. On the outside, goes in. Yep. That was a good call. Even though he faked like, oh, I'm just running my route, he was sizing up the coverage guy the whole time, got in his way, and picked him, and that's why the running back that time was wide open. Thompson.
You're allowed to do that within a yard of the line of scrimmage, and that might have been what Reed was arguing about. So take off the 33-yard pickup and set him back to the 18 for 3rd and 12. And Cousins well protected. And now the Giants give chase, and Cousins launches it down the field and out of bounds. He was going back to Thompson, who had the catch that was negated by penalty. George Selby was giving chase to Cousins.
Absolutely no pass rush at all for the New York Giants, but the coverage downfield, very good. Kirk Cousins doing the smart thing early in the game, as you watch people, is anybody going to be open to pick up that first down? The answer is no. So you play it safe, especially early in the game, and that's been one of the keys for this Washington offense, not making big mistakes.
Tress Way is the Redskins punter, and he hits the deck, and there is a flag out. That's Harris with the catch at the 30 and able to escape the first tackle. He's a good returner. And there's another flag out near the tackle at midfield. He was brought down at the 50. It was Rashad Jennings who ran into the punter.
Well, did he give the punter room to land, or did he hit him? And if he didn't give him room to land, it's going to be a 15-yard penalty, roughing the kicker.
And it came on a 4th and 12.
There are fouls by both teams on the play. Number 26 of the defense, number 26 of the kicking team was illegally out of bounds on his own. We also have running into the kicker by the defense, number 23. Those fouls offset. We'll replay 4th down.
Running into the kicker, 5-yard penalty. That's why they offset.
How about your starting running back trying to come in here and block the punt, making contact with the punter?
That was close. He did get his foot on the ground, but it's, in my interpretation of the rule, and my man Mike Carey standing next to me shaking his head, yes, that should have been roughing the punter.
So Way let loose a 54-yard punt that gets taken off the books. Week 1, Way had a punt return by Jarvis Landry. It was a huge play in that Dolphin victory. It's bursting through, and it was Jennings who got the block, and the ball goes out through the end zone. It's a safety. How about Rashad Jennings? Tried to get there the first time, made contact. This time he beat his man and blocked it through the end zone.
You think he would play it safe the second time around, just overpowering the blocker, and that time that was perfect.
Overpowered Terrence Plummer.
Tom Coughlin, we had a chance when we talked to him this week. He said, we're playing hard, and he immediately, what did he say to us, Jim? Hey, and my special teams. He goes, when's the last time you heard a Giant coach talk about the special teams and how well they're playing? And we've seen that already here tonight.
Well, now we know why the starting running back for the Giants is playing on the punt return team and coming off the edge. That's the first safety for the Giants in the regular season in 4 years. You remember they got a safety right at the start of the Super Bowl game, the most recent one against the Patriots, when there was a holding call on New England in the end zone.
Well, good break really for the Washington team, because that ball went into the end zone. That could have gone out on the 1-yard line, very close, which would have made an easy score for the New York Giants. But I got to say this to you, Jim. The crowd, sparse, late arriving, and definitely even in that block punt, not even yet.
On the free kick, Way, who's already had quite a workout tonight, puts it to Harris at the 30, wiggles up the middle now, and Plummer got him at the 50.
During the return, holding by the return team, number 94. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. New York's ball, first down.
Hertzlich called for the infraction.
Coming on the outside there. What a job, just overpowers the blocker, and you see everybody standing around like what happened, and was the blocking right? But give Jennings credit, 2 times in a row, gets back there and makes a play.
Boy, did he get some leverage on the rookie out of Central Florida, who just rejoined the roster here, Terrence Plummer, to get that safety. So now the Giants, the penalty backs him up to the 33. Jennings is in the backfield, already putting 2 on the board for New York with his play. And Beckham gets his hands on it right away as he shoved out of bounds. Short gain, but a catch for 4, maybe 5.
Could see a lot of those tonight. Play off. See, that's what this Washington defense does very well. They play safe. They see the football thrown, then they come up and attack, and they have been very good tacklers in the first 2 games. And the Giants, Spread it out. Why are they doing this? Because look at that defensive front for the Washington Redskins. Big, very hard to run against.
Breland is on Beckham, and they're going to run it with Jennings. He's out to the 40 for a gain of 2. Well, last season, Eli just dominated the Redskins with 7 touchdown passes, only 1 pick. He also ran for another score. And at the start of the season, through 2 weeks, what have you seen other than what happened in Dallas?
Well, not making the big plays down the field. That's the one thing that's hurt this offense. And you want to say, as Bill Cowher said in the pregame, you like for him to be a little more consistent running the football.
3rd and 3. They run it with Vereen for the first down. Nice cut by Vereen. Shakes free for 4. And the chains will be moved.
Well, tough defense to run against, but they got the look they want. John Jerry gets a good block at left guard. He's in there tonight. Justin Pugh goes from left guard out to left tackle because Eric Flowers not in there. And a good start for the Giants. They are very good, at least, of getting that first down in almost every single drive this season.
And Vereen goes into a slot on the right side. He is some receiver out of the backfield. Caught 8 passes last week in the game against Atlanta. And Eli's throw to his tight end, Donnell, who feasted on the Redskins in their first matchup last year for 3 touchdowns down in Landover. And the big guy goes to the sideline after a 4-yard catch.
You know, you watch this tonight. Eli Manning said to us that got to be very sharp throwing the football. He's getting rid of it very quickly and underneath this coverage. We'll see how long it takes Washington to come up and start playing tighter defense.
2nd and 6. Delay give. Jennings. And shoulder-to-shoulder contact with Keenan Robinson after a gain of 3, and they're at the 50. A 3rd down coming up.
You know, Jim, I thought it was interesting. Eli Manning, so much criticism, the errors in the first 2 games, but Tom Coughlin, he said, look, Eli Manning carries the organization on his shoulders. He goes, everybody, coaches, players, front office people, everybody gets their confidence from him. So, said a lot on his shoulders, but he can carry it, and he has shown that through the years. He can get it done when the pressure's on.
3rd and short for the 2nd time. And that is well defended by Robinson. He brings down Daniel Fells for no gain. And after picking up 1 first down, the Giants are going to have to punt.
Yeah, Keenan Robinson inside has been really good. Boy, look at that. Eli Manning getting rid of it so fast. Couldn't even grab the laces. Football again on the target. But Keenan Robinson, inside linebacker, great start to the season, the first 2 games. Speedy, all over the field, and an excellent tackle.
Brad Wing, the Giants traded for him from Pittsburgh just a few days before the opener. And he sends it down to Jamison Crowder, who has the fair catch at the 11. 37-yard punt down at the 11, and a flag just came out back near the line of scrimmage. Ronald Torbert is our referee tonight in his 2nd year.
During the kick, holding by the return team, number 59. Half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick. Washington's ball, 1st down. Timeout.
And it's Plummer who got called for that one. So they'll start near the 5 when we come back. 2-0 Giants. Redskins backed up near the 5-yard line.
What's up?
Alfred Morris behind Williams. He'll fight you for every inch. And he gets about 4 near the 10. Never miss a moment of football action with the CBS Sports app. Every play, every story, and every highlight, right as they happen. Download the CBS Sports app now. Beckham targeted on the first snap for the Giants and bought it for a gain of 5. But now you look over on the Redskins side, and their left guard, Sean Laval, hobbles off.
Yep, he's played well, too, the first 2 games. How can you say it when your offense is leading the NFL in rushing? I know it's only 2 games. Most of your linemen have to be playing well, and Sean Laval is one of those guys.
And Josh Laribas takes his place at left guard. Play action, pass up the middle, and it's intercepted. Amukamara has it, and he is tossed down by Carrier. Has he jumped that route and comes up with the pick?
Well, listen, this comes from studying during the week, watching what the other team does on the outside. Here he comes down the middle. Washington threw this exact pass a few times last week with some different formations. So, hey, when you can run the football, one of the things you like to do, fake it up the middle and throw that pass over the middle where there's no linebackers. But what a job by Mukamara, reading it, being ready for it, and making the interception.
And the Giants have the football at the Washington 14. Andre Williams, the running back.
Sloppy, terrible start by Washington so far here in the game.
Eli to Beckham. And he's got about 5 with the forward progress to the 9. Now Cousins again threw the 4 interceptions against the Giants last year in the first meeting, all of them coming in the second half, and I know this was a big night to try to put that performance behind him.
I'll tell you what, when you throw an interception early in the game as a quarterback, you got to go to the sideline. You got to be tough and just say, hey, I'm going to grind this out and keep playing and not get timid in your decision making.
2nd and 4. And the Giants have it to Randall. And he'll have it 1st and goal to go.
Yeah, that'll make Ruben Randall feel good. Last week, quite a few times, he's in the slot. Quite a few times last week, he was open down the field, did not receive the ball, and kind of let that affect the way he played sometimes the rest of the game. But Tom Coughlin said they got to get him involved because he's their big receiver, Jim, the guy that can make those tough catches when there's a lot of people around him.
He caught only 4 passes through the first 2 weeks. They waived Preston Parker this week. They expect Randall to be much more active. 1st and goal for the Giants from the 1. Andre Williams. He is smothered up at the line of scrimmage. The Giants have struggled in the red zone the first couple of games. Only 2 touchdowns and 8 trips.
Yep, they really have struggled. And, you know, the reason why sometimes it just, when you get the rhythm of making plays down inside the 20, last year one of the best in the league. What's confusing, and 8 times, this is number 9, they have yet to throw the football or target Odell Beckham Jr. when they're going in to score.
Now lined up in the eye. Williams got it on the first crack. Will he get it again? Yes, he will. Trying the left side, cut back to the end zone. Touchdown, New York.
Excellent job, good play call. You want to take it to the edge. Don't go up the middle against Terrence Knighton and Jason Hatcher, 2 terrific run stoppers. And Andre Williams, big running back, can get the tough yards. And when you hit him, we saw it in Boston College when he ran for over 2,000 yards. He's going to go forward once he's hit.
He was the Giants' leading rusher last year, now in his 2nd season. And Josh Brown for the extra point. 9-0. New York Giants. Very shaky start for the Redskins. Mukamara comes up with the theft. And then the Giants hand it off to Andre Williams and lead it 9-0 here in the first. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Sheridan, where actions speak louder. Head and Shoulders. Shoulders were made for greatness, not dandruff. And by the Lexus IS200 Turbo and IS300 all-wheel drive. Celebrating the proud 150-year history of fire service in New York City. Spring Street down in Lower Manhattan, the New York City Fire Department Museum. All right, Josh Brown and the Giants. Going to put it in the hands again of Rashad Ross, who this time will take the knee and the touchback. Fast start for New York. Tom Coughlin likes what he sees here at the beginning for his Giants. Wednesday, don't miss the premiere of the new medical drama Code Black. Academy Award winner Marcia Gay Harden stars, premiering Wednesday, 10/9 Central, only CBS. Second carry of the game for Alfred Morris. And he's got about 6. What happened with the interception?
Well, you know, it was played differently. Look at Prince Amukamara, plays off and inside. Kirk Cousins doesn't read him, and it's one of those throws you have early in the game. Terrible decision, not a good throw, and he even threw it timidly. You know, he wasn't sure, but, you know, you're not settled. Your feet are not under you to start the game sometimes, and it was just a bad decision by Kirk Cousins.
They bring in Crowder as an extra receiver. They're going to hand it off to Thompson. And he's got a 3rd and 1 coming up, pickup of 3. Let's go down to Tracy.
Well, thanks a lot, guys. This offensive line, which has been so solid the first 2 games, is right now without starting left guard Jordan Laval. You can see him carted off into the locker room with a left ankle sprain. His return is questionable, James.
Okay, again, Josh Laribas, 4th-year player out of SMU, takes his spot.
Jim, it's a big deal. This Washington offense runs the football much more to the left side than they do to the right. Laval out could change it.
Matt Jones is the running back. He's carried it once, make it twice. And the second one is denied by the Giants. All over him is Kerry Wynn. And the Redskins still without a first down. They'll have to punt.
Saw this a lot last week. Number 72 inside, coming down the line of scrimmage. He made about 3 plays against the Atlanta Falcons that were almost violent from the backside. That time he beats his block. Kerry Wynn is athletic. He's tough. Giants weren't expecting that much from him this year, and he's turned out to be a good player these first couple games.
How about this Giants defense at the beginning, plus the special teams.
The defensive front that's decimated. I thought Washington would take advantage of it. That was another big 3rd down miss.
Let's watch Jennings and see if he can get around the edge. Not this time, as Way is able to send it high in the sky to Harris, who fumbles the football. And on the ground for it, looks like Harris may have gotten it back. Oh, there was a signal there in the Washington direction.
It did look like he got it back, Jim, but you know what? When somebody flies in there full speed and hits you, you can lose it. Oh, but he hung on.
And it's actually, it's not recovered by Harris.
Darkwa gets it.
Yeah, the backup running back. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by the new Samsung Galaxy S6 Edge Plus and the new Galaxy Note 5, and by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football. Look across the Hudson River at Battery Park in downtown Manhattan. This area, of course, all excited and abuzz about the arrival of the Pope at 5 o'clock today local time. 1st and 10 from the 36. They go to Fells, and again, he's got just a short gain. Robinson had a couple of nice plays from his inside linebacking position.
Yeah, just no energy when you watch Washington play so far. The block punt, the interception, penalties, 3rd and short. You're the best running team in the NFL. You can't pick it up. It's up to the defense now to turn this thing around for this Washington team.
Short throw so far by Manning, but he's 6 for 6 at the start. Eli going over 40,000 on his career passing yards last week. While his brother went over 70K in week 2. Here's a pass down the field, and it's Randall with his 2nd catch. We warned you he's going to be, you would expect more in the game plan here tonight. He's made a couple of big plays. This one for 30.
Saw him one-on-one against D'Angelo Hall. Caught D'Angelo Hall looking inside, and just that little move to the outside gave him space. Eli Manning, good protection, makes the throw.
And a fake to Jennings. A flag is down as Beckham has the catch inside the 20. Right in front of Chris Culliver, the former 49er, but is coming back.
Number 70, 10-yard penalty, replay 1st down.
On the center, Weston Richburg.
Yep, the center, pretty happy with his play. Number 70 right in the middle. Oh, yeah, well, he had to. Keenan Robinson got free coming through, so he figured he's going to hit the quarterback, and he did the smart thing by grabbing him. One thing I've noticed, too, Jim, moving Odell Beckham Jr. around, the Giants are. They're putting him in the slot, much harder to get tough coverage when he's hit the inside receiver. And a minute ago, he came out of the backfield to line up just to make sure they don't have a plan to double cover him.
1st and 20. And again, short pass, the screen to Jennings. And he's chopped at about the 25. That'll pick up good yardage. A gain of 18.
Yeah, really good job throwing the football, short passes. This time the play action fake. Good job by the offensive line, and that's what you do when you go down the field. That time Jeff Schwartz went to the ground. When you do that, it makes defenders stop, try to jump over you, and gives the running back those extra yards.
2nd and 2. Eli's hit 5 different targets so far in this game. 8 for 8 for 74 yards, and he's going to hand it off to Jennings, who drives ahead, and I believe he has the first. He does. They're in the red zone for the 2nd time in the quarter. Tuesday on CBS, don't miss the new drama critics are calling one of the best new shows of the fall, with addictive potential. Limitless, new episode Tuesday, 10/9 Central on America's #1 network.
All these short passes, what it does, tires out the pass rush, and when you get them tired, it makes it easier to run the football on them also.
1st down at the 19.
He saw a blitz, that's why he's trying to change the play, but you got to watch the play clock.
Yeah, I think he's going to call the timeout to avoid the delay of game.
After those first 2 games, the crowd's watching the play clock as much as Eli Manning.
I know Jay Gruden's surprised that his Redskins are on their heels so early. They came in confident that they were going to be showing the rest of the league tonight in this primetime position that this is an improved team. So far it's a struggle at the start. 1st and 10 Giants. As Eli's pass wide of the mark, and that's, well, it's ruled on the field an interception. I thought it bounced.
I thought it bounced
It's
too.
D'Angelo Hall, and he's going to run it out to about the 36-yard line.
Of course, since it's a turnover, ruled on the field, it will be replayed. But Eli Manning had him open. Yeah, the football definitely bounced.
Yeah, he's trying to hit Donnell.
Ruling on the field is an interception.
D'Angelo Hall has had 5 career interceptions.
We will review the ruling on the field of an interception returned by Washington.
5 off of Eli alone, but he will not get his 6. No doubt this will be overturned. They'll go through all the mechanics of it first. We'll step aside. This one very clearly bouncing off the carpet. It'll go as an incompletion. Eli's first incompletion of the night.
The ruling on the field will be reversed. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be New York's ball, 2nd and 10. Please reset the game clock to 1 minute, 30 seconds, please. 1:30. The clock will start on the snap.
And Eli now has gone his first 85 throws of the season without being intercepted. That's the longest streak for him to open a season in his 12-year career. It's a 2nd and 10 from the 19.
Hey, Jackson. Up on 2.
118. What's that?
Jennings. Into the heart of that Redskins defense for 2. 3rd and 8 on the way.
Yeah, good job by the safety, Deshaun Goldston up there. Really good free agent pickup this offseason for this Washington defense. That time he did have Odell Beckham Jr. one-on-one with Chris Culver. 2nd and long, I thought maybe they would go to it, but hoping to catch him by surprise with the run. Now makes it a tough 3rd down.
Yeah, this has been a favorite spot right here for 34. Vereen to take a pass out of the backfield. 3rd and 8. Darkwa, who recovered the fumble punt, is in the locker room being examined by the Giant staff. And there's the pass in the direction of Vereen as Eli just had to get rid of it. Ryan Kerrigan was racing after him along with Trent Robinson.
Number 34 was in the vicinity. It's 4th down.
Yep, he's right. 34 was in the vicinity, all right. And it was Trent Robinson, the defensive safety, coming on the blitz. The Giants did not pick it up. And a good job by Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator, changing things up, getting some energy going with the blitz to stop the Giants and hold them to a field goal here.
Something finally goes right for the Redskins as the Giants now will have Josh Brown attempt his 7th field goal of the year. They've had the most attempts because of all the woes they've had in the red zone. And the kick from 35 yards is good. Brown is 7 for 7 here at the start of the year. Final minute of the first quarter. All Giants, adding 3 more, and it's 12-0. Randall and Beckham each with a couple of catches, but Randall had 1 for 30 yards. Beckham 2 for 11, but it's 12-0. Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson, Mike Carey. Our rules aficionado is here as well at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey.
Well, you know, you look at this first quarter, I look at it, the Giants probably had a chance to really put this game in a really tough spot for Washington, and good stop by Washington keeping themselves in this game at 12-0.
So a touchback. And we'll see if the Redskins are going to be able to pick up their first down on this next drive. All these miscues, the block punt.
What a start. I mean, everything could go wrong. They've done it. Block punt, interception, not picking up 3rd and short, penalties. You said it, no first downs. You know, I say run the football. I think they can really overpower this Giant front that's so beat up. But also you want to get your quarterback, see those possessions, you want to get some confidence in him and find some easy throws to get him going.
Matt Jones, he's got room. Puts his head down and he's near a first down. 3rd round pick out of Florida, Matt Jones, and boy did he look good last weekend. He is some physical kid and presence out there.
He is. And he walked in, you know, you watch TV, you watch it on tape, but he walked into our room last night. I swear I thought, who is that defensive end? I didn't recognize him. Well, you know, I'm trying to think, and he says, hey, Matt Jones. I went, wow. He's got to be one of the top 2 or 3 biggest running backs in the NFL.
And he's picked up their first down as Cousins gets the short pass to Garcon for a gain of 5. That'll run out the time in the first quarter. A quarter that saw the Giants score 3 different ways with a safety, a touchdown, and a field goal. We'll return to the Meadowlands after these messages. You're watching Thursday Night Football. CBS home of Super Bowl 50. Time of possession in that first quarter heavily on the side of the Giants. The Redskins possessed the football the first 2 weeks. 38 minutes a game on average. That hasn't been the case so far at the beginning here. Just coming off of their first down. And now it's a 2nd and 5 to start the second quarter. And Jones. He's within about 2 of a first. Kerry Wynn on the tackle. Matt Jones' 2nd carry of the game last week against the Rams went for 39 yards and a touchdown.
Well, big man that can make those moves, get outside and look at the top speed.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, it is
for
amazing.
His size.
What did you say? Bob Hayes, when he won the Olympic gold medal, was going what? 22?
Like 22 to win the gold.
So, another 3rd and short. They've missed 2 so far tonight.
On 3rd and 1, Cousins. He's got an open man. He's got a first down on the Giants side of the field with Andre Roberts. This Redskins receiving core without Deshaun Jackson, who's out 3 or 4 weeks with a strained hamstring. They pick up 18 this time.
Goes across the field, works his way through the zone, and the pass protection was very good and gave Kirk Cousins that extra time to really relax and put the football on the money. Watch the time up front. We showed it at the start of the game. Nobody around him, so he gets that second look to make sure the receiver is wide open.
Landon Collins, the rookie safety, lost his helmet on the tackle. Cutting outside, Jones trying to stiff arm the defender, and he is tumbled down. That is the rookie again, Collins, who tripped him up, but a gain of 5 for Jones. Tonight's a great night to tune into the Late Show with Stephen Colbert as he welcomes Jim Gaffigan and more. And don't miss the Late Show tonight after your local news. That's an old matchup, Jones and Collins from their SEC days.
There you go.
Collins
That's
at
right.
Alabama.
Well, you know, what did Matt Jones say? Well, you know, the NFL is not a lot different than the SEC.
That's right.
Maybe just a little faster, so tells you something about that league.
2nd and 4. Here's Jones getting some work on this here. Look at that run. He's got a first down at the 31, gain of 6.
Well, Jim, we really haven't got a chance to talk about it yet, but this offensive line revamped, big, strong, and look what they did. They, of course, had Alfred Morris, and they bring in Matt Jones, 2 big, powerful runners, in a much more diverse running game for this Washington offense now. It's not just let's all move and go right and go left. Now they trap, they pull. Of course, they run some of those zones I'm talking about where you all move in one direction. But diverse and good so far this season.
First down, fake to Jones, and rolling out is Cousins. Wide of the mark. He had an open man. He had Ryan Grant, and he knows it.
Yep, just didn't get his body through the throw. Grant's going to go down. Kirk Cousins really wants to throw it to the short receiver, but the safety comes up, and it caught him by surprise just a little bit, and that's why the throw was off target. He wanted to throw it short to Andre Roberts, and the safety came out of the middle of the field and kind of caught him by surprise.
And that misfire cost him about 20 yards.
But again, just look at the time, the space. You know, the Giants worried about getting run over.
Gonna not beat the play clock? Yes, he does. Now, hold on. I thought he had. A timeout was called from the sideline. Cousins says, what happened here?
Prior to the snap, first charge timeout, Washington.
Saturday, the SEC on CBS brings the best game from the best conference as Tennessee tangles with Florida. It all begins with college football today right here on CBS Sports. 2nd and 10 from the Giants 32. And Jones, again, out of Florida, has another 5 or 6. He's got 7 carries now versus only 2 for Alfred Morris.
Well, last week, the first week he had, 5, 18 last week, so they're gaining confidence with Matt Jones. They let him pass protect in some blitzing situations also. But I thought the Giants would blitz Kirk Cousins quite a bit tonight to see if they could handle the blitz and if he can make the changes like Tony Romo and Matt Ryan did against their defense.
And this crowd comes to life for virtually the first time tonight. 3rd and 4. Down the field it goes, and it's knocked down beautifully to save it. Landon Collins denying Jordan Reed.
Had him, Jordan Reed really had a step on Landon Collins on the outside. There he is, and the football is just underthrown at the last second. Landon Collins does a good job, turns and finds the football. But that's a tough matchup. Landon Collins against Jordan Reed. I would put more of those formations in there and get that matchup because I think it's a tough one for the Giants.
Dustin Hopkins in his 2nd week as the Redskins kicker from 44 yards. And his kick is true. So Washington puts points on the board for the first time tonight. Riding behind Matt Jones most of the way, leads to a field goal. Tonight followed the journey of NFL hopefuls on undrafted Then Football Town, the story of Barrow, Alaska, and their love of the game. 2 NFL Network original series tonight after the postgame, only on NFL Network. Well, it's a drive that results in 3. It could have been a whole lot more. They had an open man on that one play.
Well, two open men. They missed them both. And it's funny, you know, just watching Kirk Cousins throw the football, you know, you need to settle in the game. You need to get comfortable. And we know he's been a penalty flag on the field.
Yep.
But just like that last play, get your feet set and really drive it down the field because your guy, Jordan Reed, has him beat. And he didn't quite do that. That's why the football came up short.
After the play was over, dead ball, personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Number 20 of the kicking team, 15 yards, first down.
And I make a point of him saying Kirk Cousins worked so hard on his feet to get him in position so he could throw the football on time and put it on the money. And I saw him when he went to the sideline after that throw. He sat down and was upset because he knew he missed a touchdown.
Watch Jerron Johnson here. That's what cost him number 20.
Well,
and instead of ball being at the 20-yard line. It's out to the 35 for the Giants to start this next possession.
Jim, I couldn't see who fell for the Giants, but he should be fined for faking it. It was bad acting, and just don't like it.
Well, Andre Williams takes it on the toss for about 5. Eli 8 of 10 to this point, and he hit his first 8 throws of the night.
Yeah, he's doing exactly what I thought would happen as I watch Washington's defense. They're willing to give you some short passes, and St. Louis last week was just not efficient throwing the ball short. So I think that the Giants knew that would be there for them tonight. Eli took advantage of it early, and he really made Washington change the defense there and play a little closer and man-to-man the last couple throws.
They've got Culliver at the bottom on Beckham. It's 2nd and 5, and Eli's going to the right side. And it's Randall with his 3rd catch, surrounded by a couple of Redskins near midfield, but another gain of 10 for the Giants and a first down.
Yeah, really good pass protection. That's what you do. They're not open immediately. 2 hands on the football after the fumble last week. And with that extra time, D'Angelo Hall is going to back off of Ruben Randall and give him the pass underneath.
Might have a matchup he wants at the bottom of the screen. Culliver way off the line of scrimmage on Beckham on 1st and 10. Run it for Williams for 5, and we go to Tracy.
Well, as you can see right now, backup nose tackle Kendrick Golston walking out of the locker room onto the field. He has a hand injury. I was told his return is questionable. I'm sure we'll get an update as soon as he comes out here. And also just keep an eye on fullback Darrell Young. He was having his right calf worked on the sideline down here, Jim.
All right, well, that's at least 3 Redskins who have had some early nicks in this game. You get the feeling they're setting up the Redskins to do something. Another dynamic with Beckham, but again, they're going to plow it up the middle with Williams for another 2 right into the arms of Terrence Knighton, who we saw a lot of during his time in Denver. He was a factor there.
Well, he's been a factor here too, Jim. And first off, just look at him. He's so big. He's hard to move with 2 men. And him and Jason Hatcher inside have made it tough for teams to run in there. Not quite the force so far here tonight I thought they would be. But Terrence Knighton very surprised more teams didn't come after him and when he was a free agent after last year in Denver.
Got just a 1-year deal in Washington. A 3rd and 3 from the Redskins 43. And it's pass on the money and hauled in down to the 20 by Fells. He caught it and he rumbled for at least another 10 for an overall gain of 23.
Fells going down the right seam, a little head fake to the outside, and he caught Keenan Robinson going for the fake. This Washington defense focusing so hard right now on Ruben Randall and where Odell Beckham Jr. is. And Eli Manning, very good job finding Fells down the seam.
Oh, it's quite a catch by Fells, too. Had to turn all the way around and stab it with the catch as Williams takes it into the red zone to the 18. The Giants at 0-2. And what does it mean if you're 0-3? If you want to put it in context with history over a 25-year span, well, since 90, there have been 124 teams to start 0-3, and only 3 have gone on to make the playoffs. The last coming in 98 by the Bills. Pass intended for Dwayne Harris, the former Cowboy.
Well, good read by Eli Manning. Everybody that time, the corner, watch him go inside because who's this going up the seam? And that leaves Harris wide open to the outside. Eli Manning just too careful with the football and misses him.
Again, 2 targets on the night for Beckham to this point.
Still none in the red zone, or the green zone as the Giants call it, so far this season.
It's a 3rd and 7. They bring in Vereen, the 3rd down back. Pass dropped by Donnell. Would have had the first down.
Well, that's one of the reasons why they've not been very good in the green zone. People been open, they've missed them, and then some drops. Again, Two guys looking at Odell Beckham Jr. and Donnell wide open and drops an easy pass.
That's been the one issue with the third-year tight end out of Grambling State.
Tom Coughlin was hoping to get him going, get his confidence and all that. He's done that with Reuben Randall. Big drop.
36 yards from the right hash. Brown for the second time tonight. And this kick is also good. Out of the hole to Brad Wing. The snap by Zach Diassi. 3 red zone trips so far tonight for the Giants, producing only 1 touchdown and a couple of field goals. 15-3 New York. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by United Airlines. Fly the friendly skies. Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. And by Wendy's. As you look at the world-renowned American Museum of Natural History on the west side, founded in 1869. Meanwhile, it's time for the Redskins to see if they can take what they did the last time and move it down to the Giants side of the field, do a little bit more with it this time than a field goal.
Yeah, it's all there. They just gotta produce a drive where they don't make a mistake, whether it's missing the receiver, penalty, or just not picking up an easy 3rd and short.
To the back corner of the end zone will not give Ross a chance. The Giants in a familiar position of leading. Has just been the end of the game issues, and they have been significant. But you see on the season, they've trailed only 17% of the time coming into the week and blowing those 2 double-digit fourth-quarter leads that they had against Dallas and Atlanta.
Well, you said it, controlled. They've controlled the Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons for most of the game. But as Tom Coughlin said, when it counted, we couldn't make the big play.
Fake to Alfred Morris, and looking down the field, Cousins tipped away at the last minute. What a play by Prince Amukamara. Already with an interception tonight and saved a big gain on that pass play.
He had receivers going both sides. Pierre Garçon left to right, coming all the way across the field. He's got Prince beat, but the ball is thrown just behind, and it allows him to Amukamara to get his hand in there and break it up.
Garçon with only 1 catch so far tonight. They went for the big play on first down, 2nd and 10. Morris, 3rd carry of the evening, good for only 1.
Giants playing really conservative on the defensive side. I think Jay Gruden and his staff expected a lot of blitzes. A short week, sometimes it's hard to get ready for them. But being conservative is probably the right thing because this offense hasn't shown that it can make the plays when they're there.
With Chris Thompson coming in as the 3rd down back and stacking receivers on the right side. Here come the Giants. Cousins sidesteps the pressure and gets it over to Jordan Reed, who has the first down and out of bounds.
If you're going to blitz, which they did, they caught him. Kirk Cousins, really good job in the pocket. Coming from the outside, and he moves around, but you got to stay in your lanes when you're blitzing. And they opened up a wide gap for Kirk Cousins to move in, and a good job of finding the receiver down the field. Boy, nice job. And that's what he talked about, how much he works on moving in the pocket. Good example, that's how.
Picked up 20 on a 3rd and 9. Here's Morris. And he is met immediately by Brandon Merriweather. And it's a 1-yard gain. Your weekend starts with Thursday Night Football. 7 days out on CBS and NFL Network with Big Ben and the Steelers taking on Joe Flacco and the Ravens. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, always a doozy, and we'll have it for you. They met, of course, 3 times last year, including the playoffs.
I think one thing we know, that's Pittsburgh Steeler crowd. They'll be ready to go. They'll show up. Everybody will have the jersey on.
2nd and 9. Seal the pocket. Cousins coming back for it. Catch is made. by Jamison Crowder, just his third catch of the year. The rookie out of Duke picks up 14.
Plenty of time. You heard the crowd roar or get a little antsy because they thought they saw people running down the field. Watch Jordan Reed uncovered down the middle. Good job by the backside corner that time. Coming over and getting the coverage. Actually, it was Landon Collins, the safety. Good throw that time on the run by Kirk Cousins.
Matt Jones returns to the backfield. He's had a good second quarter. Led them down the field the last time to a field goal. He's going to try to bounce outside to no avail as Kennard brings him down for a loss.
Really good
Kennard,
job.
Loss of 3.
On the top, stays outside, doesn't let the runner break out, uses those arms, keeps him extended so the blocker can't get to him. And we told you earlier that this Washington offense loves to run left. And they've had great success. Why? Because one of the best left tackles in the NFL is out there in Trent Williams.
Here's Cousins. 5 of his first 10, 62 yards and a pick. Quick toss. It's Crowder. Crowder taken off, and he's down to the Giants 22. You just talked about Trent Williams. He threw a big block on that, as well as Pierre Garçon, but it looks like it's coming back. A flag is out.
Holding. Offense, number 78. 10-yard penalty from the spot on the foul. 3-play second down.
Corey Lichtensteiger, the center, is called for that one. And it wipes out a 25-yard gain.
Had the right play against a pressure defense. And how about Crowder, though? How quick did he look? Let's watch the center. 78 going outside. Reaches out with his left arm. Did try to hold, even though he didn't quite grab hold of the defensive guy. That's still a good call.
It's a spot foul, so it's a 2nd and 17. Right at the 50. Cousins got an open man. It's Garçon who slashes down to the 39. It'll set up 3rd and about 6.
Good patience. Nobody around Kirk Cousins. And the receiver wide open. Giant defense talking about it when they didn't blitz. Really dropping back deep. Playing safe. Trying not to give up the big play.
Cousins pass to an open man again. Garçon pulls ahead to the 20. So the Redskins get out of that jam, that 2nd and long, and pick up 19 with this pass.
Coverage on the outside. It's man-to-man. Here comes the in cut. Watch this catch. Turns. And Pierre Garçon, once he catches the football, watch his intentions, how fast he gets it, and then turns into an aggressive runner with the football. Giants worried about trying to tackle him out there in space.
First down carried by Jones. And he fights for about a yard as the Redskins on this very drive have already converted on a 3rd and 9. And most recently a 3rd and 6. We're approaching the 2-minute mark. They do not have to run another play before the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and no reason to do that. Manage the clock. Take the time away. When you score, give Eli Manning less time to work with, if you do.
Kirk Cousins, he's hit his last 5 passes, and he's driving the Redskins at the 2-minute mark. Coming up, the Lexus halftime report. JB, Dion, and Coach Cowher break down all the first half action. Coach Cowher taking some notes.
Well, when you're in a situation like this on the defensive side, you play safe. Don't give up the play to get them in. Just give them the field goal tip, but don't give them a big play.
2nd and 9. Cousins splits 2 rushers and throws it incomplete in the area of Andre Roberts. This being the first road game for the Redskins this season. They certainly got off to a slow start, but the second quarter they found a little bit of a rhythm at last. Got a 3rd and 9 coming up.
You see their total yards, 145. had many chances for big plays, hit a few of them.
Here's Cousins. Gets rid of it in time and incomplete. Just couldn't get enough on it. Reed was open. Landon Collins was flying into the backfield.
He was. Number 21 comes right up the middle and caught him by surprise. I did not think they would blitz. And you said it, Kirk Cousins not able to plant his feet. Once again, Jordan Reed wide open, but not able to get the football to him.
Here's Dustin Hopkins. Kai Forbath, their kicker last year, was released after week 1. And Hopkins has made a couple of kicks so far in his first 2 games from outside of 40. This one, a 37-yard attempt. And it, too, is good. Out of a hold by Tress Way. Second field goal of the quarter for Washington. Now the 2 quarterbacks in this game. 98 yards passing for Cousins, 107 for Eli. The game's only touchdown was from Andre Williams.
Yeah, you know, you look at those quarterback numbers, they both could be better. Eli Manning's had one really big drop, but also Kirk Cousins has had opportunities where he's missed.
Hopkins. And to the back corner of the end zone for a touchback as well. 1:43 to go in the first half. The Giants will take over at the 20 with a couple of timeouts in their pocket. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL, and by AARP. Real possibilities. Stunning views from the tallest skyscraper in the Western Hemisphere, One World Trade Center, which opened last November. Oh, it's been a beautiful day here in the New York area.
Oh, man, what a great night for football. This is as perfect as it can get for the players and the fans. Of course, the fans are still not into it.
Boy, they've been lacking energy from the crowd tonight as first down carry goes to Barine for about 3.
I mean, you know, Jim, I'm not going to get on the fans, but it's all we heard all week. They're going to be fired up. This is do or die for the Giants, all these things, and just haven't felt the energy, even though the Giants winning 15-6.
Second down and 7. Eli's pass is complete to Beckham for the 3rd catch of the night. This one gains 14.
There's D'Angelo Hall talking to him a little bit. D'Angelo Hall really loves this defense they play, gives him a chance to watch the quarterback every once in a while.
Minute to go, and they go underneath to Jennings. He's tackled by Trenton Robinson after a gain of about 7. And a timeout called by New York at the 57-second mark. 2nd and 2. As the Redskins have really backed off here defensively. They got Beckham again. That was a beautiful precision pass by Manning as the Giants move the football to the Redskins side of the field and hurry up with 1 timeout remaining.
Outside throws it right behind the defender. It's not looking that time, so Eli Manning throws it behind him, gets a good completion.
And here's a pass in the area of Beckham, who was floating free on the sideline. Coming up, the Lexus halftime report with James Brown, Deion Sanders, and Bill Cowher. They'll break down all the first half action.
Well, that was probably the first time they did have one blitz on a screen play where they got pressure on Eli Manning. And that time, I think it was Preston Smith, rookie, got pressure on him, made him throw the football just before he was ready. But no pass rush so far for this Washington defense.
Yeah, really nothing to speak of at all. As 2nd and 10. There's Manning from the pocket. The ball tipped that time. And there is a flag out. That was Kerrigan who got a paw on it.
Did a good job just pushing Newhouse back.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 17. 10-yard penalty. Replay 2nd down.
Oh, he comes across right in the middle of your screen. Dwayne Harris just blocks Keenan Robinson down the field, so that was an easy call. And why you take the penalty, It's about yardage. The clock really not that big of a factor. That's why Jay Gruden drove them back instead of declining the penalty and going to third down.
Second and 20. And he steps up. And Beckham takes a couple of hard hits. Goldson was the first to get to him. And the Giants call their final timeout with 25 seconds to go. So the Giants cannot stop the clock. 25 seconds to go and third and long.
Got to have that field goal unit ready on the sideline in case this football doesn't go out of bounds. It's completed. If it is.
Sidestepping some pressure and just has to unload it to avoid the sack. Haya was wrapping up Eli when he released it.
Really the first time we've seen a good pass rush, and what they did inside, you saw it. Haya and the other defensive linemen crossed. That's what they've been really good at so far this year, causing disruption, hitting quarterbacks. First time I've seen it here tonight. Good job by Haya.
So the Giants complete 3 passes on the drive to Odell Beckham Jr., but that pass interference call backs them up. They cannot recover. And now they'll punt it with 19 seconds to go in the half. Brad Wing's punt. Giants chasing after it. And Zach Diassi says, I'll take care of it. A foot away. His father was a teammate with you back on the Super Bowl team of 1990. His dad, Steve.
Linebacker, and he can snap the ball also. Zach Diassi, been with the Giants quite a few years now. Great long snapper. But what do you think about the first half? Give me your opinion.
Well, the first quarter
you be
was
the analyst.
All Giants. The Redskins looked like they just were so sluggish at the start, but in the second quarter, the Giants on both sides now, or the Redskins on both sides.
A little more energy.
Absolutely.
I think we both came into this game. Why I asked you that, didn't we come into this game thinking, boy, this is going to be something. I could feel the energy from both teams. We talked to them. You know, Washington wanted to avenge last year's loss, and, you know, we just didn't see that energy by either team overall in the first half.
That's the handoff that will bring us to the intermission. The last 4 scores in this game were 4 field goals, an exchange of field goals by the teams.
So you could be an analyst too. That was pretty good.
I didn't know you were going to. Fine. I'll see you in the third quarter.
Okay, good.
Can't wait. Ready for a little play-by-play from you, pal. 15-6, the Giants lead it at halftime. Again, the Lexus halftime report is coming up after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching Thursday Night Football. CBS, home of Super Bowl 50. A little memory here as we celebrate Super Bowl 50 coming up. And Phil, you might have a little memory or two of this one. Super Bowl 21. Mr. Perfect, nearly. 88%, 22 of 25, 3 touchdowns as the Giants won their first of 4 Super Bowls. What comes to mind when you look at the footage there?
It was like another life. I can't really remember that much of it, and I go, well, it's pretty cool. But, you know, doing this job now, look down the field, and it's hard to go, wow, I used to play, because it's changed so much, and they're so fast, and, of course, I've gotten older. So, but it's a great memory.
I think usually when I ask you this question about once a year, you usually say my 3 incompletions.
Oh, yeah, gripe about them, yes.
Hey, let's take a look at Who Are You Loving? Presented by McDonald's. This is the game's only touchdown when Eli handled it off to Andre Williams. This coming off a Prince Amukamura interception, set it up. The Giants led 12-0 after the first quarter with the touchdown, the extra point, a field goal, and a safety. And the second quarter, the Redskins got a couple of field goals, won by the Giants. 15-6. Is this game going to open up a little bit here in the third quarter, partner?
Well, Assistant Bill Cowher, and I think he might be right. This first possession by both teams, the Giants' offense and Washington's defense, will give us a little clue, but I think it will. And make sure you remind me when the game's over. I'll tell you about those 3 incompletions.
No. That's a deep kick by Hopkins. And the Giants will start at the 20, and we'll start by going down to Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks a lot, Jim. Jay Gruden told me it was definitely an ugly start, but he's not overly concerned. He said this is a fourth quarter game. As far as Kirk Cousins goes and the missed passes, he just told him to relax. He knew he could have had a bunch of those. I asked him about the defense. He said Eli is just using the play clock, and they need to hold their disguises longer and rush the passer, Jim.
Well, how about Jay Gruden says this could be a fourth quarter game?
Yeah. He said some good things there. Kirk Cousins, relax. Make those throws, and maybe they found a little secret to the pass rush there at the end of the first half.
Jennings has a lane and almost lost the football as he's tripped up out to about the 29 into the secondary before Goldson into the run.
Yeah, right up the middle against the two run stoppers. Hatcher in there, Stephen Paya, Terrence Knighton.
Second and a foot.
118.
And that's all they needed for the first down. Back to Jennings. Richburg ends up on his side. First half possessions by New York. Punted the first time they had it after picking up just a first down. Then the short drive after the takeaway, a field goal, and a punt right before the half.
One thing you see there, Jim, the Giants, very good this year so far. They have, I think, 4 3-and-outs in the first 2.5 games so far. Pretty good by their offense.
It's Jennings. About 4 Redskins get a hit on him. How about the play of Justin Pugh at left tackle, getting the start tonight with Flowers, the rookie out of Miami, out with a left ankle injury.
Well, you know, I asked Tom Coughlin, Ben McAdoo, the offensive coordinator, about it. They were not that concerned. They said, look, he's scrappy, first-round draft pick from Syracuse. He's played tackle before, and so far today, or tonight, I think he's done an outstanding job.
You saw a glimpse of Flowers, the rookie. It's going to be a good one here. 2nd and 8, and they swing it over to Jennings. Chasing after him impressively there was Robinson, and may have knocked him back for a loss of 1.
That's what he does well. Keenan Robinson, I've seen that play about 15 times in the first 2.5 games, where he runs outside, makes the tackle, and gives up no extra yards to a ball carrier or a receiver.
D'Angelo Hall is down on one knee, the 12-year veteran. And this secondary, which Coach Gruden told us was a big area of concern coming in. They've had injuries, they've had suspensions. Trying to get this unit gelled as one. And this is the veteran they can't afford to lose.
Oh, boy.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Not going to speculate, but, you know, just the fact of the way he's standing, hopping, and that sudden move when you make it. You just hope it's not the Achilles. Boy, he was, you know, we talked to him last night. Boy, he was excited about the game, excited about the football team, playing defense, and he feels like he's on a good football team right now. He just loves the attitude and the coaching and what they had done in those first 2 games.
Boy, he talked about his friendship that has developed with the legendary Darrell Green, the Hall of Famer, in that secondary for so many years at Washington. How he has leaned on his mentoring when he became a member of the Redskins family. That does not look good right there.
Nope.
So Will Blackman, who was a member of the Giants Super Bowl winning team a few seasons back, he comes onto the field.
Yeah, he'll play the slot. Looks like Breland, the backup corner, will take D'Angelo Hall's place.
Well, Blackman just comes right off the bench, and he matches up right away with Beckham. And a switch off over there. Pressure on Manning. Pass to Randall. First down, New York. Gain of 9.
Good blitz by the Washington defense, and really a good job by Eli Manning. Both linebackers blitzing inside, moving, and he's really, you can tell Eli Manning, he's usually pretty good with the football in his hands, but after that fumble last week, really conscious of moving, keeping both hands on that football, and then making the throws.
New set of downs at the 42. Vereen, the former Patriot. And he's got a pickup of about 3 as they work on D'Angelo Hall on the Redskins bench. A 12-year veteran who said it really feels like 15.
Yeah, because he's been on so many teams that are not very good. Boy, when you're on a bad football team, the years are long.
Second and 7. Back over to Randall, who has a 5th catch of the night and another first down. The second first down he's picked up on this drive.
Well, got a new corner in the game. Going to play smart, play safe. That's what they do to begin with. And Eli Manning doing some of the things we saw in the first half, throwing the football short, getting rid of the football quickly so that pass rush can't get there.
You saw Bashad Breeland on him, second-year highly drafted corner out of Clemson. It's off to Vereen. He's brought down by Will Compton. You can replay every game of the 2015 season on demand with NFL Game Pass. Go to NFL.com/Game Pass to start your free trial.
Running game, not making any big gains, but doing a good job to keep the defense off balance. Ben McAdoo mixing up the run well with the short passing game so far.
2nd and 5. Had the draw, and it goes to Vereen again, and he's about 1.5 yards short of the first. Coming up to make the tackle was Will Blackman. The secondary for the Redskins is going to be stressed and put under a lot of heat here in this second half. And their defensive backfield coach is Perry Fuel, who spent the last 5 years being the defensive coordinator for these very New York Giants.
Yeah, so he knows this offense. He knows the tendencies. He knows Ben McAdoo. But an entirely different defense that Washington's running compared to what Perry Fuel did in New York the last 5 years.
3rd and a long one. Jennings is the running back. It's the call. And he gets stacked up short of the first.
That's a big decision here for Tom Coughlin. Look where the football is. Looks like it's about 1 yard. I expect him to go for it, and I think he is.
Yeah, he's bringing in some reinforcement. Actually bringing in Randall and Harris. Looks like he wants to go spread here on 4th and 1. Beckham gets shifted to the right side.
They'll leave it up to Eli Manning. If they cover, he'll give it to the running back Shane Vereen. And Washington doing the right thing, playing close man-to-man to make him throw it into tight coverage.
Big play call here. 6 minutes into the second half. Rolling out. Eli throws the catch, and it's a good catch made by Beckham for 4 yards in the first.
Couple things. Eli Manning on the sprint out in case it's a blitz, and they move Odell Beckham and put him behind the other receiver so the coverage cannot be up there close, so he can run that quick out to get the first down. Well done by the Giants offense.
First down at the 34. Opening drive of the second half already. More than 6.5 minutes. And he burst up ahead to about the 30. You know, Beckham and the quarterback have a pretty neat little tie here. They both come out of New Orleans and Newman High School, 12 years apart.
Well, you talk about Odell Beckham Jr., Tom Coughlin said he's learned every position, can do everything fast, quick, runs routes. Nothing negative when you talk about Odell Beckham Jr.
2nd and 6. And Vereen unable to grab hold of it. The contact by Robinson helped knock it loose.
Well, he dropped that football, and this is really what Washington's defense needs, Jim. They needed to drop a penalty or something to put the Giants in a little tougher situation on 3rd down so they can make a play and get off the field.
It's going to be 3rd and 6 as Beckham starts in the backfield. The 14th play of this drive as they move Odell to the left side.
Yeah, they've done this a few times.
Pass incomplete. Donnell unable to grab hold of it. But it didn't look like it would have been anything close to a first down anyway had he caught it.
Yeah, it's going to be short of the first down if he catches it. A lot of reinforcement coming, and that's exactly how Washington loves to play those third down situations. Make you throw it short so they can come up and make the tackle.
So, disappointment for Eli as they're unable to finish that drive. It took up half the quarter. Josh Brown from 48 yards out. And his kick is good again. 3 for 3 on the night. 9 for 9 to start the season. Well, the Giants had it for a long time, Phil. Half the quarter, but only manage a field goal.
Well, just think, of course, this is all projection. If Shane Vereen doesn't drop that pass, they can still be marching down there picking up 4 and 5 yards at a time. When you throw the ball underneath, you've got to be almost perfect, and that drop pass stops the drive.
It's a short kick. And stepping up for it is Ross. And Ross gets it out to about the 23. The Giants had that drive right before the half. And just a one-play run by the Redskins before the intermission. In real time, they've run one play from scrimmage in the last, 40 minutes. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football. The Ford F-150, every other truck is history. And by McDonald's, teaming up with the NFL like never before. Congratulations to Coach David Ettinger of Garden City High School, Garden City, New York. Named the High School Coach of the Week by the Giants. He led the Trojans to a victory over Cary High School last weekend, snapping their 25-game win streak. This is the best starting point of the night for the Redskins, the 24. And that is Alfred Morris, who's been quiet to this point. Rips off a good run on first down for 7. Let's go down to Tracy with a report on the injury.
That's right, Jim. I'm reporting on D'Angelo Hall, who had 2 torn Achilles on his left foot earlier in his career, but this one they're calling a toe injury. You see him being carted into the locker room. They are saying that his return is questionable. It's on the right foot, not the left foot, that he had the Achilles injury on. But guys, I would be really surprised if he returned. I watched him. He couldn't put any weight on it, and he just stood there in shock, shaking his head, Jim.
I know he's just fed up with trying to recover as they run Morris again for a yard. Yeah, he had 2 surgeries on that left Achilles just a year ago. Cost him the whole season, basically. And now the Redskins will try to convert on 3rd and short.
Well, you said it. They've been on the sideline a long time. They need some rhythm, so that makes this 3rd down pickup here very important for this game and for this Washington offense to keep it going.
Cousins throws for it, and the catch is made by Grant, who was open underneath. First down, Washington.
Well, the Giants defense, what Deion Sanders said they should do at halftime. Back up, don't let them get any big plays, and make them do that. Make them keep marching the football down there like the Giants are have to do without making that mistake.
And again, the Redskins, the top rushing team in the league through the first 2 weeks, averaging about 171 yards a game on the ground. So far in this one, 57. Throwing on first down, Cousins. Completely left alone, it's Reed. Pushed out of bounds for a first down in New York territory, 18 gained.
Pass protection's very good. They clear it out on the outside, and Reed's going to go to the open space. You see Ryan Grant runs off the corner. Amukamara, nobody, the linebacker cannot get back there. Pass protection, like I said, was good, and a good throw by Kirk Cousins.
Give it to Jones on first down. And he is met head on. Beautiful tackle made by J.T. Thomas and Kerry Wynn, no gain. We talked about it at the start. Jay Gruden handed the football to Kirk Cousins and said, this is your team for 16 games. And tonight, inactive as the third quarterback is Robert Griffin III.
Couple things. They said they will revisit that Robert Griffin III as it goes on after this Thursday night game could become the backup and get him ready for that. But I think you said it to me during pregame. What a fall from a Rookie of the Year, Heisman Trophy to third-team quarterback.
There's the pass play. It's back to Reed, and he stiff arms and helps free himself for the first down. Gains 13. Yeah, since that Rookie of the Year performance, he's 5-15 as a starter. What's happened basically with his skill level since then?
The injury sets you back because you lose confidence with the injury. It changes the way you play. He missed a whole offseason and a preseason, tried to play through it. But that offense he ran his rookie year, it's plain and simple. That offense does not exist in the NFL anymore, so he had to adapt. And so far, after the injury, the change of the offense, he hasn't adapted.
Here's Cousins. Pass up in the air, and it's intercepted. Hung forever, and coming up with it is Wani Unga. Second interception thrown tonight by Cousins as he tried to force it in there, and Unga comes up with the interception. Cousins was trying to hit Derek Carrier, and look at Kennard break it up.
All over it. You know, everybody sees the arm on it. You're watching it in slow motion. It looks worse. I did not think it was pass interference. He didn't turn the receiver, didn't throw him off course. I know you think it was. Probably not.
No, Mike Carey says it was not.
It's a judgment call.
Completion over to Randall. And a gain of 11. Well, when he's had at least a 2-interception game, Cousins is 0-7.
Well, what did we talk about last night? Everything Kirk Cousins, it's all positive teams behind him. 1-1, a good start playing well. And I said all it takes is one game. And it brings all of it back again because it's the quarterback position. It's always something that people talk about. And
118, I said.
First down. Williams goes low and stays on his feet. Then he's wrapped up by Goldson. He broke out of the tackle and contact by Trenton Robinson and runs hard for 11. That was impressive.
Yeah, he got down lower than Robinson. That's it. Look at the legs on Williams. That says it all, doesn't it? We talked about it. Said 2,000 yards, over 2,000 yards at Boston College his last year. A power runner, productive, and I think the Giants have a great situation at running back. You got Jennings, Williams, and Shane Vereen coming out of the backfield to catch the ball.
First down, they go back to him. He's walloped. It's Robinson. This time comes up and says,
payback.
Yeah, a little payback hit. Well, the Giant leading rusher been someone different every year since 2012. From Bradshaw to Brown to Andre Williams. So he led them last year, but he plays as the 2 at the start of this season behind Jennings. Now they bring in Vereen on 2nd and 9. And Donnell holds on to it this time for a pickup of 5 3rd and short coming up. Here is the next broadcast window for NFL games. Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Action continues on CBS and Fox. You can check your local listings for the game in your area. The Eagles will be playing right here in this stadium against the Jets. 2-0 Jets, 0-2 Eagles. And a whistle before the 3rd and 4 play could get going.
False start. Offense, number 67. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
The Giants trying to do something off the takeaway, the interception by Unga. This is just his third career game, and now he's already got 2 interceptions. He's a 27-year-old first-year player out of Brigham Young University.
Yes, and listen, thrown in there as a rookie. John Beeson, the middle linebacker, was out. I think his hustle and how hard he played, he's got to be commended in those first 2 games. And just like that interception, just running around, football found its way to him.
3rd and 9 for New York. And he got hit when he threw it. Pass to Beckham, and the flags are out. Robinson and Culliver were both
they got good
in there defending.
Sorry, Jim. We got good pressure on Eli Manning. I do not think the football was tipped. It was just a tight pocket, and he couldn't get himself in position to throw the football down the field the way he wanted.
Well, that's what the Redskins are appealing. They are saying that you got to pick up the flag because we deflected the pass. And it did come out wobbling as if, at the very least, you know that Manning's arm was hit when he threw it.
Yeah, but you got to hit it's got to be the football.
Yes. I know that. And it's a huge call here on a 3rd and 9 play. Would it be a first down for the Giants, or would they be forced to punt?
Prior to the pass, illegal contact, defense, number 29. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Called on Culliver.
Well, it's a good call. He did grab Odell Beckham Jr. as the football hit. No, his arm is, and that's why I didn't have the strength to get down there. And watch 29, illegal contact way down the field.
It's the right call on both ends of it.
Absolutely. Quarter's almost over. You're down 2 scores. When you look at where Washington is right now, it's not panic time, but you got to try to keep the Giants from getting down there and getting more points.
Just 39 seconds to go in quarter number 3. First down from the Redskins 45. On the toss, it's to Williams. And we got another flag down as Robinson comes over for the second hit as Baker was trying to drag him down alone.
Holding. Offense. Number 73. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Called on Newhouse. Undrafted. NFL Network Original Series and Football Town from Barrow, Alaska. 2 original series on NFL Network tonight after the postgame. That penalty backs the Giants up to their own 45. First and 20. Draw play, Williams. Well, we'll run out the quarter. And Phil, the Giants are going to go to the 4th quarter. Guess what? With a double-digit lead.
They've been there before,
yes,
right?
They have.
I'm sure they were preached that all week long, and I know that Tom Coughlin's probably talking about it right now to some of his players on the sideline.
Giants put up a field goal in this quarter, controlled the football throughout quarter number 3. 18-6 heading to the 4th. We're back to start the 4th quarter. Jim Nantz along with Phil Simms, Tracy Wolfson, Mike Carey. We haven't had to bring him in on any rule controversies to this point. 2nd and 17. Giants lead it at 18-6.
We're enjoying your presence, Mike.
Good to have you here. Here's Eli over the top. It looked like Donnell was already somersaulting before contact. Gain of 22.
Out of the backfield. That caught him by surprise. Nobody picking up the running back, but it is the tight end.
It's kind of an interesting move here.
Yeah, it was. But he was making sure they catch. He got both arms under. It's like a fair catch as a punt returner. Good fake by Eli Manning. The defense, nobody covering the fullback out of the backfield.
His 3rd catch for 32 yards on the night.
41 to Sam. You got 5 seconds. Sam, 52. 118.
They blitz, the Giants run. And they cover him up quickly. Williams.
Well, let's look at Odell Beckham Jr. What do? They put him in motion, makes the defender back off, and it was a nice third down pickup by the New York Giants. But it's one thing the Giants moving their best player on the offensive side. They've moved him around out of the backfield, playing outside, inside. That's what you do when you have a weapon like Odell Beckham Jr.
Breeland is a good 8 yards off of Beckham on the line of scrimmage, and they're going down to him, and he snags it for the touchdown.
You said the appropriate word. He snags it out of the air. I don't think if he doesn't reach up and go get the football, I think Breeland's going to knock it down. But he sensed it, and he got up in the air, and he extended his arms. Watch him run the post from the bottom of the screen. Donnell makes the safety stay in there, and look how he reaches out with his arms and pulls that football in.
You get him one-on-one, and he's going to win almost every single time. Then you got Breeland, who off the line of scrimmage gave him about a 10-yard spread, and it was off to the end zone. Extra point good. Most exciting play of the night.
Well, the design of the play got him one-on-one, and Eli Manning found him.
Breeland unable to stop him. And Odell is in the end zone once again tonight. Here's the play of the drive, the play of the night to this point. Beckham from 30 yards out.
Watch him pull the football in real quick so it doesn't get stripped.
Yeah, got it out of reach.
Yep.
Just presence to know that Breeland would be reaching in, trying to knock it out. And he got it out of arm's length, away from him. Ross runs it up the right side and out to about the 22. Flags are out. When the Redskins played here in December, Beckham did not play in that Thursday night game last year.
Right.
He had a hamstring issue at the first 4 games of the season. But when they played here against the Redskins in December, Beckham caught 12 passes in the game for 143 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's why I said in the end zone again tonight. That's 4 touchdowns.
There is no foul in the play for an illegal block in the back. Play was legal. Timeout.
4 touchdowns by Beckham in 7 quarters of action in his career against Washington. 25-6. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Pandora. The next song matters. And by Cialis. A little backdrop there of Grand Central, which opened all the way back in 1871. And by Cialis, by the way, our Thursday Night Football coverage coming from the Meadowlands here in New Jersey on a warm night in late September.
Black. Ringo, 47.
That's a first down. It's Garcon for about 18. What have you seen out of Cousins tonight?
Well, not a sharp night, and had some guys open, missed it, missed the touchdown throw. As you watch, he throws it inside where it should be dropped over the top or outside or just overpowered. Then he took a chance through into tight coverage, caused the interception. So, not sharp, no question about it. The chances have been there for this offense. But also, when you're a quarterback in this league, every week is not going to be, oh, you can't make an error. You got to be this. What's my QBR? So everybody has a game like this in this league. Andrew Luck had one pretty rough in the night. I know he has a much bigger resume than Kirk Cousins, which, he's a young starter. It's not always going to be smooth. He's got to learn from this. Game's not over, but just as a quarterback in this league, you've got to consistently throw the football well.
There's it to Reed for another first down. You saw Amukamura go to the sideline on that previous play.
Yeah.
He got tangled up with his own teammate, Merriweather, and had to come out.
Good route, good patience, good throw by Kirk Cousins. That's the one thing about being a big-time quarterback in the NFL. When they're open, Jim, and you just can't miss them. And tonight, they haven't hit a high enough percentage of those open receivers.
Giving chase. And the pass comes up short for Reed. That was Jenkins. in the area of the quarterback, Cullen Jenkins. How about the Giants pass rush? You know, the whole JPP story ongoing here. Is he going to come back? What are they going to do? What is his condition after the firework accident on the 4th of July?
Well, I don't know. I'm just going to kind of guess here. I'd be surprised after what I saw in the papers and watched the video of him and everything that he's back sometime this year playing for the Giants.
2nd and 10, again they're chasing after Cousins. Hit after he threw it, and a flag is out. That time it was Moore and Hankins who were coming after Cousins.
But you know, when you talk about JPP, let me say this real quick. Just think if he was in the game those first 2 times on the last drives in those games. You think in all those passes he couldn't have got one pressure, one penalty, knocked down one pass, anything could have been the difference, and this Giant team could be looking at a chance to go 3-0. But, you know, a lot of ifs in this league. Everybody loses great players. But the thing that hurts when you're losing off the field and not on the field, and boy, Steve Spagnuolo, you think he wouldn't want?
There was no foul on the play for offensive holding. The contact in question was legal. Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. It's 3rd down.
You don't think the defensive coordinator wouldn't want a dominant pass rusher? What he did against the Washington team.
8.5 career sacks playing against Washington.
Yep. You know, when you have a dominant pass rusher, it opens things up for other guys, of course, and then you don't have to gamble on defense, which might have been the reason what cost them the game last week. They gambled, they blitzed, and Matt Ryan threw a touchdown to Julio Jones.
So they pick up the flag. 3rd down for the Redskins. 12 minutes to go. Probably 4-down territory for them. And here comes the pressure. The unload to Thompson. And he's probably got the 1st down on the sideline at the 40.
Good recognition.
Well, it's going to be short of the 1st.
Oh, he stepped out of bounds before he got the 1st down. The blitz. Cousins reads it right. Yeah, he stepped out.
Boy, he sure did. So it's 4th down and 2 to go.
No question they have to go for this to score. 4th down, you got to go for it.
Pass caught, and it's a good catch. Grant, the flag comes out.
Seen some good catches tonight, haven't we? Receivers reaching back and just snatching the football out of the air.
Flag on the far side.
Saw Pierre Garçon make 1 or 2. That one by Grant.
Illegal use of hands to the face. Defense, number 28. That penalty is declined. Result of the play is a 1st down.
What a catch. Grant reaches back, gets the 1st down. You know, you look at this game, 25-6, 3 timeouts, 2-minute warning, over 11 minutes to go. You can get 3 possessions in this game to give yourself a chance to win.
They've got another completion. This one to Rashad Ross, his 1st NFL catch. And let's go down to Tracy.
Thanks a lot, Jim. The Giants already without Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie now have Prince Amukamara on the sideline. He is running. It is an ankle injury. I was told that he is probable to return. He's just trying to work it out right now down here on the sidelines, Jim.
2nd and 3. That pass lobbed over the top of Thompson. Harry Wynn was applying pressure. Next Thursday, we're going to be in Pittsburgh. Antonio Brown, Big Ben, Forsett, Flacco. This rivalry that's as intense as it gets in the NFL. Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Can't wait to get to the Steel City and bring it to you next Thursday night. Third and 3 and a timeout call by the Giants. who were shuttling players in and out and were not set on defense. Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie on the left, sitting out tonight because of the effects of a concussion in the last game, and Prince Amukamara has come back in after missing much of this drive, taking a hit from his teammate Merriweather. 3rd and 3 for the Redskins. With
don't
11
take a
minutes
sack.
to go.
I'm sorry, Jim. Don't take a sack because it is 4-down territory.
Got the first down. And it's Crowder with the 6-yard catch.
Boy, Jay Gruden even said to us, he goes, look, you know, we've changed our running game so we don't have those runs that loses yards, because if we can keep it 3rd and 6 or less, he goes, I got a lot of plays and we're good at that. We were last year, and that was a good example of it right there.
Lucky, 52. Lucky.
Here's Cousins. Dangerous pass, incomplete. Flag is out.
Landon Collins against Andre Roberts was holding.
Prior to the pass, illegal contact. Defense, number 21. 5 yards from the previous spot. Automatic first down.
Giants trying to be aggressive, so when you're aggressive, you make these kind of mistakes. You know it's a blitz. There's nobody helping you, so you panic. At that time, Landon Collins reached out and grabbed the receiver.
Brings the football to the 16. And he was trying to find Roberts, who was open. Should have been a catch.
Yep, Wade on the coverage, got what they wanted. The middle of the field's open. Catch it, perfect throw. Well, just a hair in front, but still an easy catch for an NFL wide receiver. Not only should he catch it, should pick up quite a few yards and get it down inside the 5.
Reed, the tight end, sent wide to the right. Deepest penetration of the game for Washington. From the New York 16. Here's Cousins, backpedaling now, off and running. The 3 Giants in pursuit. And out of bounds, setting up 3rd down.
Well, good throwaway. Coverage is good down the field. You have Pierre Garçon going over the middle. That would have probably been the best shot because he got Landon Collins, the safety, stayed up inside where you could have maybe thrown it over the top. I would think if they don't get this, they still would go for it on 4th. You could kick a field goal, make it 25-9.
Yeah, it puts you
and
within
it gives
2
you 2 scores.
Yeah, I think you'd have to really strongly consider that. 3rd and 10.
Delay of game.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Man, what's the word? I'm just thinking, hey, they're not sharp. I think that's, of course, a big understatement when you talk about what this Washington offense has looked like here tonight. Just
out of sync.
Out of sync. Not taking advantage of chances. Just making little mistakes, too, which you just can't do in this league.
3rd and 15. And that's Thompson trying to slip out of a tackle. He's within a yard of the 1st. Big difference for the Redskins tonight, Phil, is they haven't dominated the running game like they had last week against the Rams.
That's right. Top of your screen, running back. Against Casillas. And an excellent job because it's 4th and short. No question, I think you go for it.
Yeah, since it's so short, and they bring in Matt Jones.
41!
4th and a yard.
Well, they're going to play run. The Giants, everybody up.
Yeah, they stack the box. They give it to Jones. Jones trying to get outside. He's going to have the first down, and he has, in fact. Did he hold on to it? No, they say he didn't. He lost the handle going into the end zone.
Big question will be, did he fumble before he crosses goal line?
It's
And
coming
yes,
out.
no question.
The Giants reached in and dislodged it.
That's going to be a touchback. Good play by Wade, knocks it out.
Wow. Best drive of the night for Gruden's side. Typifies the night. NFL Thursday Night Football sponsored by State Farm. Find your agent at statefarm.com. Mazda, driving matters. And by Chick-fil-A, we didn't invent the chicken, just the chicken sandwich. Mike Carey, we're going to bring you in. This will be another Redskin turnover. What an excellent call. Eyeballing it live by the officials because Wade of the Giants knocked it loose a couple yards out of the end zone. And it goes as a touchback ball turned over to the Giants. As Jennings may be able to squeeze out a yard.
Yeah, this is a game of inches. Crowder almost got the recovery inbounds. The ball just struck me out of bounds. But remember, on the fourth down fumble, it would have come back to the spot of the fumble anyway.
That's right. Even if they recovered, it would not have been a score. Comes out because it's fourth down.
Phil Simms on that one.
Hey, I get them right every once in a while.
76-yard drive by Washington comes up empty. 2nd and 9, Jennings. And they're trying to strip it away from him, but you can hear the whistle. Washington trying to make a big play and lay out the football, but officials are going to say he was down. And it'll be a 3rd and 1.
The runner's forward progress was stopped before the ball was stripped. It's 3rd down.
Well, if he said the forward progress was stopped, that's not reviewable. And, well, that was quick.
Quick on the whistle?
Yes.
Go, go.
Timeout called by Manning. Bill, this was the play a moment ago. Jennings, the Redskins trying to strip it.
Yeah, well, the whistle doesn't count. You know, once they deem forward progress is stopped, then the play is dead, Jim, and they can't review it. So the whistle really actually doesn't kill the play, but no way to review it. I thought it was a quick stop of the play, but it doesn't matter.
3rd and 1. And they are able to hold him back. Robinson, the first to get there on Jennings.
You say there's a couple guys on this defense and this team that played hard. Robinson is one of them. All night long, just keeps running, hustling, and making plays. You know, you think back, if they scored, they would be getting this football back. Of course, it would have changed maybe how the Giants would have run that series. I understand that, but they still would have been conservative, I think, the Giants. With the timeouts, they had definitely a chance for 2 good possessions.
Crowder signals fair catch at the 26. Half a quarter to go, and the Giants are up 19. NFL Thursday Night Football is sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry in this weekend for great fall savings, and by Corona, who invites you to find your beach. The Redskins and Giants join the NFL and all 32 clubs in celebrating Hispanic.
Buena protección,
Heritage Month.
Manny va largo y completo, touchdown, Odell Beckham Jr.
And that is Roberto Abramowitz calling the action on tonight's SAP. First time tonight, Washington starts to drive outside of its own 25 from the 26. All over. Cousins right away. He had no chance, and that's the first sack of the night by the Giants. Tankins and Casillas
I think that's their first sack of the year. Right? Did they have any sacks in the first 2 games? 0. So finally the blitz pays off. Casillas gets there before Kirk Cousins can make a decision to get rid of the football.
Giants had 3 sacks the first couple of weeks, but not a ton. Here's a flag thrown out for Reed on the catch.
You held up 3 fingers to me, but I saw the the thumb and the zeros. Oh, okay, I was right. Sometimes I have trouble with math.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 80. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Sunday, the NFL on CBS. Doubleheader action. Many of you in the 1 o'clock window will see Pittsburgh at St. Louis. Check your local listings and most of the nation in the national window. We'll get Chicago at Seattle. It all starts with the NFL today at noon Eastern time. We'll see you from Seattle on Sunday. Second and 28 as Randall and Beckham stay on the bikes. 6.5 to go in the game. Cousins pass, and it's a good one. Down at the 21 is Garcon. Redskins after tonight will have the extended time off before the Sunday, October 4th game, home against the Eagles. Anxious to see where that team's going. They're going to have a very important game here on Sunday, trying to get their first win of the season against a Jets team that's off to a hot start. 3rd and 14. And they pick up the first down and then fumble the football. Garcon lost control of it. I think it's going to hold up as a catch, a fumble, and a recovery by McBride. Amukamara, who already had a pick in this game, stripped him. Forced fumble. This just might be overturned. Garcon, did he ever really have full possession?
Yeah, watch it full speed. Catch, hit, fumble. So I think it's going to be incomplete because of that. When you watch it full speed, it just happens so fast. There's not time to really have that moment where you can take a couple steps in between the catch before the ball gets away.
Mike Carey, what did you see there?
I see it the exact same way. The receiver did not have enough time to get it put away. The ball was still moving. It gets stripped. Too fast. Bang, bang.
Bang, bang.
Washington gets a good break here.
The ruling on the field will be reversed. The receiver did not establish himself as a runner, did not complete the process of the catch. It's an incomplete pass. It'll be Washington's ball, 4th down from the 22-yard line, left hash. Please put 5:48 on the game clock. Clock will start on the snap.
There's another good reach back, making the catch by Pierre Garcon.
And with 5:48 to go and down 19, they're going to go ahead and go for it.
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Giants 22. They have to do it at this point.
Yeah, you're 3 scores down. Any chance to win the football game, if there is any, you have to go for it in this situation. Well, they're going to send more people than Washington can block. That's the idea, to make him get rid of the football quickly.
Yeah, here they come. Merriweather was in on it quickly, and they draw the flag, which should save him. Mukamura saying, wait a minute, he was holding me. Talking about Garcon. I don't know if that argument's going to hold up.
Pass interference. Defense, number 20. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
Here comes the blitz. Free runners coming to the quarterback. Kirk Cousins does a good job of retreating, at least getting the football up in the air. Oh, yeah, that's definitely holding. Pass interference.
Come on, Prince.
Yeah,
you can't really expect us to believe that he was holding you on that one.
Look at Tom Coughlin shaking his head. He's going, it's 3rd and 14. Why'd we blitz?
The 4th and 14.
I mean, 4th and 14, yes. Why are we blitzing in that situation?
First down from the 34. Wide of the mark. Looking for Pierre on that one. Garcon. Coming up next, it's the Mazda postgame show. Interviews and analysis of tonight's game. Well, a lot of heavy hearts here in the New York area because of the news just yesterday of the passing of Yogi Berra, who had all those many quotes we'll never forget. One of which was, "It ain't over till it's over."
That's right.
But it's getting pretty close here. As Cousins throws that one out of bounds. And the two of us had the good fortune of having many occasions to spend with this beautiful man. Just an incredible human being.
Always in good spirits. Played in his golf tournament that he had every year a few times. You know, you and I were talking about him last night. We were having some good memories of the things he said. And you almost said he was the best bad ball hitter I've ever seen in base. Not that I got to see him. When you see the highlights, it's amazing how he hit the baseball when it was down on the ground over his head.
Well, across the river, the Empire State Building honoring Yogi in pinstripes. Yogi born the year that the Giants organization was born, back in 1925. Got another 4th down situation here for Washington.
Yep, Steve Spagnuolo, defensive coordinator.
Rocky!
Need to pick up 9 for the first. Thompson slices through there to keep the drive going. What the Giants did here, lining up Nikita Whitlock.
Yes, he played defensive tackle that last play, to pass rush. You know, they're
the fullback, yeah,
in there rushing the pass. He didn't get a lot done, but he was occupying some space. I didn't mean it in a bad way. You know, what do you expect? Just got to get some bodies out there.
Give him a little more credit.
Yeah, that was bad. I didn't mean it that bad, but I will say this: when Whitlock has been in the game as a blocker for the Giants in the first couple games, unbelievable lead blocker from the fullback position.
Doing more than just taking up a little space.
Yeah, he's taking. That's right.
That's good to hear. 2nd and 4. As Reed holds on to it.
You know, it's like a baseball game. Nice throw by Kirk Cousins. Where, you know, when it's over and you don't want to use your pitching staff, you just put a guy in there to throw an inning for you.
Well, we've seen defensive linemen line up as fullbacks, but you don't very often see a fullback line up as a defensive tackle.
Good point.
Now it's Throwback Thursday. Coming out of a timeout here in a moment for the Redskins. Check this out.
And it works out of the shotgun. He takes it. Facing pressure. He's in trouble. He's spun around. He's able to get away. Looks to throw. He does downfield. And a leaping catch is made. What a play by Eli Manning.
How about that?
That is great.
Pretty cool when you have Marv Albert calling your flag football games when you're 9 years old.
What's amazing, there he was, and it looks like him now. You know, the movement, of course, he's put on a lot of weight and bigger, but I'm just the legs, the motion.
First down for Washington. And it's Crowder stepping out after picking up 11 and a first.
And I was going to say earlier in this drive for Kirk Cousins, I remember last year he was in this situation. The game is over, and he threw a couple really needless interceptions. And, you know, this is good. I mean, it's padding the stats, whatever you want to say, but it's a little bit of something positive. They could drive this football down the field and go ahead and take advantage of this and get it in the end zone. It's just more reps, more experience for a young quarterback.
From the Giants, 11. Here's Cousins. And Thompson fumbled it out of bounds, but it's a catch at the 4. Cousins with the last word to Thompson as he sends him out wide to the left. Pick up a first at the 1. Big pass. Thompson. And it's a touchdown for Washington. Chris Thompson.
Chris Thompson's done a good job being outside and catching passes tonight.
Looked like Lance Dunbar of the Dallas Cowboys. 6 catches, 44 yards, and the Redskins' first touchdown of the game.
Yep, he does get in there too. It's a touchdown and 13 points down. They'll go for 2 to get it to 11 to or hope to get it to 11 to make it just in case. Touchdown, 2-point field goal.
Well, here's an interesting situation. As Tom Coughlin throws out the challenge flag on a scoring play, that is supposed to be automatically reviewed to be confirmed. You can't do that, Mike Carey.
Yeah, that's right. He got a little anxious in there.
Yeah.
So it's going to cost him a timeout. He is not allowed to challenge a play. That is a review booth challenge review.
New York attempted to challenge the ruling on a scoring play. By rule, they cannot challenge that play. New York is charged with their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
He was trying to make an appeal that Thompson's left knee might have been down before he launched. Watch the left knee. The shin.
Oh, shin's
the shin
down.
is down.
Shin's down.
And that would actually should have been called.
It still can be. They haven't run a play since then.
No stoppage. We're going to go for the 2. It's in the books now as Cousins goes to the end zone. He's got the 2 points too. Crowder. Very interesting.
Yeah, Tom Coughlin's got a good eye over there. He was stalling for time. Could they call it? Nice stack to receivers. When you want to get somebody in a quick route, get them open, stack them, and makes a defender back up. We've seen that quite a few times from the Giants tonight.
3:40 to go. And the deficit now at 11. The NFC East, what will the Cowboys look like? Brandon Weeden at quarterback. Of course, both Tony and Dez injured and out for the next month and a half, 2 months or so. Redskins coming in here at 1-1. And the Giants, those 2 difficult losses to accept at the start of the season. And then the Eagles, not the firepower in Philadelphia everybody was expecting, Phil.
Yeah, that's right. It's just amazing. One game here tonight, how it changes the whole perception of the NFC East. I'm very anxious to see, of course, the Eagles this Sunday, but the Dallas Cowboys without Dez Bryant and Tony Romo.
Hosting Atlanta.
I think the Cowboys could hold it together. Jason Witten could be out also.
Okay, onside kick coming up. from the recently signed, just 2 weeks ago, kicker. Hopkins. Ball's in the air, and the Giants, Green able to snag it as the Redskins did not make a play on the football after it bounded off of Randall.
Yeah, boy, and the fact that he tries to handle this, let it go out of bounds. Wow, that thing
right
was
off his foot,
hugging the ground, almost an impossible catch to make.
Preston Smith of the Redskins, the linebacker, not exactly a guy that's going to normally have the reactionary skill to try to grab a football, and he was trying to bust some things up if given the chance. So Vereen alert to it, makes the recovery, and here's Andre Williams for one. And the 96th win, it appears, is on the way for the Giants over Washington. And, oh, this could possibly be the 97th. I beg your pardon. Trying to set the mark for the most wins by one opponent against another team in this league. Came into this game tied with the Bears' 96 wins over the Lions.
Hey! 118. I said.
Redskins have one timeout. Williams struggles to get near the line of scrimmage. Tackle by Baker. Here's the last timeout by Washington. Coming up next, it's the Mazda postgame show. Interviews and analysis of tonight's game, and Odell Beckham Jr. will be on the set. We enjoyed our visit with him this week, too.
Yes, we did.
He's handled all this quick fame really well.
Very well. And, you know, sometimes I even asked him the question, do you feel when he went out on the field, because of his success, fame, the attention, that he was getting treated differently? And he said, yes. He noticed that guys were, of course, getting fired up the plane, and safeties were trying to deliver that big hit towards him. And that's what happens when you have great success in this league. You become a target.
3rd and 10, won the voting, got on the cover of the Madden game, just his second season in the league. That's a lot of respect. Down the field, and Randall off the rebound for the touchdown. There's a flag down in the secondary. Breland, who gave up the touchdown to Beckham earlier, appears to be the victim for the second time.
There is no foul on the play for defensive holding. Result of the play is a touchdown.
Ruben Randall. He's been battling tendonitis in his knees, so it kept him limited during the preseason. Coach Coughlin said he needs to be more a part of our game plan, more involved, and boy has he. 41 yards on that catch. 7 catches on the night for 116 yards, and now the score.
Well, they said his it's really interesting. 2 days to really practice this week, and Tom Coughlin brought up Ruben Randall. Now he was in great spirits and going to shake out of this slump he was having. What a big way to do it here tonight.
Yeah, these LSU Tiger wide receivers, Beckham and Randall.
Well, good concentration, staying with it. And, you know, the Giants need him to come through and be that receiver. You know, every team, you need back shoulder throws. You know, the throw where you throw it up high, you need your big wide receiver to go up there and outfight the defensive backboard. Something like that play we just saw. And that's what Ruben Randall does for this team. They got Victor Cruz.
And he'll be coming back soon.
Maybe coming back next game.
Yep.
And Odell Beckham Jr., they're different types of receivers, and he really rounds out the group for this Giants offense.
Randall had just 4 catches through the first 2 games.
Oh, Eli, you love these things late in the game. You throw one up, and just
there's
make
Victor
those
Cruz.
numbers look good.
That calf injury, of course, after the knee injury a year ago, calf injury has sidelined him at the start of the season, but the indications we got, he could possibly be on board when they play their next game at Buffalo on the 4th of October.
It's going to change their offense tremendously. Slot receiver like a tight end, close to the quarterback. Sideline's not his enemy. A lot of ways to throw it to.
Here's a good return on the way. It's Ross. McBride trying to give chase. Ross turns it on. The afterburners activated for the touchdown. 100 yards.
You said it. He turned it on. The angle was there. I thought for sure he's going to be brought down. And when he gets near the sideline, that's McBride chasing him. The extra defensive back, and never could quite get the angle to get him.
He was close to going out, but I think he's safely in.
I think he stayed in too.
That's where it really was close. Landed on his toes and taken off for the touchdown. Now, I would think they'd want to go for one here. And Tom Coughlin, who was so excited about his special teams when we talked to him this week, he's not going to be so excited about that.
Well, you know, he just wants this game to end. I mean, that's it. Let's get he gets the bobble touchdown catch by Ruben Randall. Oh, it can finally be over, and here we go. We give up this touchdown, and we got to fight our way through another onside kick.
Extra point is delivered by Dustin Hopkins. Brings it to 32-21 with 3:08 to go.
Well, onside kick again.
Tom's got to be over there saying, can we just finish a game? Is that too much to ask? So for the third straight game, the Giants have given up 14 points in the fourth quarter.
Little different situation
no
here
question,
tonight. Yes.
but still,
yes,
you know, he hadn't given up a touchdown through the first 3 quarters of the game tonight.
Yeah, well, you know, listen, the Giants are a football team. You know, yeah, they could have won those first 2 games, but they're just trying to hold it together until they get, hey, Victor Cruz back in the lineup, get some of the defensive linemen back are healthy, and then they can start being the team that I think they hope to be. You know, every team gets in this situation, Jim, in the NFL. Injuries, missing key guys. And when you have it, you just can't let it get away from you. You got to find a way to win some tough games. And
okay, Hopkins looks like he's coming back to the near side again. Off in the air, and it's free, and it's out of bounds. Randall again. He kept his concentration on the touchdown catch. He saw one onside kick go off his foot. This one went through his hands. But the ball will belong to the Giants.
Excellent kicks, though. 2 different type. One hugged the ground, almost impossible catch. That one took the big hop, which you love because it gives you a chance to get down there and maybe make a play on the football. I can't imagine what the flag is.
Kickoff out of bounds by the kicking team. Ball will be spotted at the out of bounds spot. New York's ball, first down.
It hit Ruben Randall's hands.
But the kick goes out of bounds. Randall never with possession, right through his hands. And the ball will be at the 44-yard line. So we had 1 touchdown the entire game through the first 3 quarters. Now we've had 4 in the fourth quarter, including 3 in the last 32 seconds.
Hey, hold on. Under, 52. 118.
Redskins cannot stop the clock. Out of timeouts. Williams, no gain. So Manning's numbers now, 23 of 31, 279 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, has not thrown an interception this season.
Yeah, it was really a good job by Eli Manning tonight throwing the football. Never really was in doubt. Never threw a football that made you go, oh, man, that could have been trouble. Very smart. He did everything he told us he was going to try and do.
118. I said.
Running right down to the 2-minute warning with this play. Trenton Robinson comes up to trip him up. Well, look at Beckham and Randall. 14 catches combined for 195 yards and a pair of touchdowns. And we've reached the 2-minute warning. The Giants face third down coming out of it. These receivers delivered tonight, especially late. Out of the 2-minute warning on third down, and Manning's pass is knocked down. He was trying to go back to Beckham Jr. Breland that time made the play, and the Giants will punt with 1:56 to go.
Well, winning this football game looks like the Giants can hold on and win this, but it just takes a little of that edge off. That now you can go out to practice, and sometimes when you're a little looser in practice, it's better. It's a better feeling in the building.
Block punt was one of the last chances for the Redskins, or a run back. Crowder. Look at that one block. Take out 3 Giants. My goodness. So what do you make of the Giants' performance here tonight?
It was okay. Listen, the difference in the game is the Giant quarterback just managed the game, did all the right things. The game plan, he executed exactly the way they wanted it.
You used to say, don't tell me about a quarterback managing a game.
Well, I didn't mean it in a bad way. I did say it, but I didn't mean it in a bad way. So
I said that one time to you. I said, he manages the game at quarterback. And he said, don't ever say that.
Well,
waiting all these years, 12 years
well, you got me.
to get you.
But everybody says it with a negative connotation. That's what always, he's no good. He just got to get out there and not make a mistake and lose the game. I love that one. Just don't lose the game. Well, then let's kneel down every time. He won't lose it then.
Well, Eli on his way to what will be his 100th victory. That's regular and postseason combined. Here's the pass to Thompson. The all-time record for wins by a Giant quarterback, regular and post, is 101. And it belongs to number 11.
Does it really?
Yes, it does.
Oh, well, that'll fall soon. I didn't even know. I was thinking, well,
you've got the record for at least
maybe a couple more weeks.
A couple more weeks.
Yeah. That's it. Really, you think of Eli Manning, just what he's done here tonight. You can look at the numbers for both quarterbacks.
Cousins now up to 288 yards. Put up a lot of stats in this fourth quarter.
But when Tom Coughlin talked about Eli Manning, it really kind of changed the way you look at it. He goes, look, the whole building depends on him. Our confidence comes from him. And it was just, when he said it, I went, wow, that's right. Because there's just so much pressure on him, but he can handle it.
There's a flag out on the Giants. Going to be on Casillas. Just want to pass along best wishes to
Pass interference. Defense, number 54. Automatic first down at the spot of the foul.
I want to pass along our best wishes to Kirk's father, Don, who is a minister in Orlando's Discovery Church. Recently, Reverend Cousins was diagnosed with cancer, and he has received some treatment down at the Texas Medical Center in Houston. We just wish him the very best. I know how proud he is of his boy.
Well, he should be. He's a good man.
He throws, and what a play on it. Son held on to the ball.
What a throw.
And he went to the ground, still held on to it.
Jonathan Hankins was hitting Kirk Cousins.
Oh, that's incomplete. Incomplete.
He made that throw down the field as he was going down to the ground. But I just want to say about Eli Manning, though. I didn't finish, Jim. I just think it's remarkable. There's so many quarterbacks in this league that just can play year after year and never miss snaps. And there's Joe Flacco that's done it. Eli. Peyton, of course, had 1 year where he missed a few seasons.
That's Unga with the punishing hit on Thompson. And we're down to the final 25 seconds. Cousins, if he can pick up 5 yards on a pass play, will have a 300-yard game. There it is. That's Ross. Smartly able to wiggle free and get out of bounds. That puts him up to 315 passing.
You know, some of this passes, I said that this is experience, and it's just like a couple of these throws, like that one. That was about one of the better throws of the night by Kirk Cousins. He really stepped into it. You could see the velocity on the ball, and the more you throw, the more chances you get out there. You get comfortable. You trust yourself, what you see. And then you really trust your ability.
It's tied a career high with 30 completions. Looking for a big completion into the end zone. Batted down. You believe he's a long-term solution at quarterback for the Redskins?
Yeah, that's just an opening question. I can't say yes or no, and I wouldn't. But, they're going to give him a chance to see if he can string together enough solid play. And if they can find a way, there's two things you got to do, Jim. He's got to play well. They're going to have to win games. Otherwise, those questions are always going to be out there, especially down there, and especially when one of the quarterbacks on the roster is Robert Griffin III. And, of course, we know Colt McCoy is the backup who, last year when he played, Jay Gruden said, did some good things for us, won some games, and played well.
And a flag comes out, which could possibly end the game here if it's against Washington. Redskins not going with their preferred attack tonight. Heavy emphasis on the ground.
There is no foul for delay of game on the play. The ball had to be respotted. Please set the play clock to 25 seconds.
And they go to the ground. Thompson getting up the huge amount of yardage to close it out at the 14-yard line. A giant victory. First of the season. And both teams walk off the field tonight at 1-2 on the year. And NFC East now will go into the weekend with the Cowboys at 2-0, the Giants and the Redskins at 1-2, and the Eagles at 0-2. That's a division that has not delivered multiple teams to the playoffs since back in 2009. They've not had a wild card team. Only the divisional champ has made it to the postseason here over the last 5 years.
Well, we just started week 3. Without that record, or that might hold up
again this year.
It could be rough just because of the injuries.
You take next week, we're going to have Baltimore and Pittsburgh. They delivered 3 teams last year. They've delivered now 11 teams to the playoffs over the last 5 years total, including their divisional champs. So, all right, Tracy Wolfson, we're going to hand it off to you.
Thanks a lot, Jim. I'm here with Eli Manning. And Eli, to get that first win of the season, how big of a relief is it?
It is. We needed to win bad and in the division, another home game. And so, we've come off 2 close losses. We've been there at the end. We haven't been able to hold on. So that was a big emphasis this week. Win the fourth quarter. And when the fourth quarter came, we got to elevate our play and play our best football. I thought we did that tonight. Made some big plays in the fourth quarter to win the game.
Odell Beckham snags one. Ruben Randall a tip pass into the end zone. And now you may have Victor Cruz back on Sunday. How lethal could this offense be?
Well, we just got to keep working. We got some good players. We needed Ruben to play well. We challenged him and needed to, I needed to get him the ball more and get him catches. And he did a good job, and he's been working hard. So that was good, Odell. Now, hopefully, get Victor back in the mix and throw another weapon. But we just got to keep working, and we've been close. We're finally putting things together, but we can get better.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you so much.
He's smiling like his brother was last Thursday night.
That's right.
We've had 2 Thursday night games. Peyton won the first. Eli won the second one. 32-21 Giants, your final score. And coming up next, it's the Mazda postgame show. We'll be back with more after this. CBS, home of Super Bowl 50.